So today marks Heritage Day, and President Cyril Ramaphosa will lead the national celebratory events at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. This year's celebrations take place under the theme Celebrating the Legacy of Solomon Linda and South Africa's Indigenous Music. The theme also pays tribute to the 60th anniversary of Linda's passing. Now, he's best known as the composer of the song Mbube, which later became the popular music success The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Well, for more on this, let's get you a sense of what's taking place on the ground. Tshegohaco Moagi, live to us from the capital this morning. And Tshegohaco, what else do we know about what today entails?
Well, good morning, Ayanda. So today we can expect President Cyril Ramaphosa to give the keynote address in his messaging about Heritage Day, about unity. But, Ayanda, we really should not also forget that, he's giving this address at a time where the unemployment rate is quite high, at a time where South Africans are frustrated with load shedding within the country. And, things like that you'd also be expected to speak to about as he sees himself, and the elders and those that are part of the South African government. What kind of heritage do they see themselves leaving for the younger generation? What will the younger generation actually inherit when we speak about some of the situations that we are facing as a country? The program was expected to start at about 8 o'clock here at the Union Buildings. We are at the lawns of the Union Buildings. Security checks have just been ongoing where the actual event will be taking place. There were supposed to be musical items from about 8 o'clock, but that has not happened as yet. The president is expected to speak at about 12 o'clock. But where I'm currently with Katleho, and you can clearly see, those that will be part of the musical items here. You've got those that are from the Xhosa nation. They, of course, in their attire as well. You've also got those that are from Eswatini. You also have Bandebele, who are also part of the entourage that is here that will be taking part in these festivities here. Honali Basotho that are also here. Libatswana. Batswana are a bit far off for us to show you that visual. But there are various people, and this is the thing about Heritage Day, where you are able to see people in their own traditional attire and really just celebrating the heritage that they come from, or the areas that they come from, and in their own traditional attires. But as I mentioned earlier, as we speak about Heritage Day celebrations, Ayanda, but is there much to actually celebrate in South Africa with all the difficulties that the country is going through, all the challenges that the country is going through, load shedding, as I've mentioned, the issue of unemployment. So there's a lot that the president is expected to also speak to, and speak to what people could look forward to. Last year, in his address, he spoke about unity and the country being united. You'd remember that he was speaking, of course, during the era of the COVID-19 times, and trying as the country was coming out of the hard lockdown. So this time it would really be interesting to hear how he tackles these other issues that the country is facing, and how he also tries to bring forward a sense of hope for South Africans this Heritage Day, as we commemorate and as we celebrate this day with the president, but also with various people that are here that will be rendering music items. People, as what my colleague Katleho is showing you now, those that are wearing their various attires here at the Union Buildings.
Yeah, it's certainly a moment of healing, isn't it, Tshegohaco, when we celebrate our heritage? I'm not sure from your vantage point if you're able to see how many people are likely to be present today, given the initial numbers this morning.
So when we were inside, just before the security checks, there are about 2 or 3 big marquee tents in this particular area, and they have really ensured that there is enough space for a number of people to come through and be part of these celebrations here. But it would also be interesting to see, Ayanda, how many people actually turn up, given the negative stance that some have on the country and on the leadership of South Africa. It will be interesting to see how many people actually show up. But there are hundreds of chairs that have been set out, and we'll definitely give you those visuals in the next hour or so. Hundreds of chairs that have been set out to ensure that people are able to come in to celebrate their heritage and to celebrate as a united country, as the president would like us to see ourselves and for us to be.
Tshegohaco Moagi, thanks very much indeed. Tshegohaco live to us there from the Union Buildings in the capital.